There we go. Well, for you guys, it's off, but eh. Alright, so today our guest is someone else. His name, I'm not sure whether his name should be given out, but we're gonna call him. Hello?
Hello, hello. How's the quality?
um, I wouldn't necessarily say good.
Alright, hang on.
I can just turn you down.
Oh, is it just really high up?
Yeah. Just talk again.
Hello.
Okay, I think we're good.
I love your profile photo, by the way.
Thank you.
I love that.
I'm also gonna turn myself down because I'm looking in the recording and it's going in the yellow, so I'm just gonna turn it down. Okay.
That's probably for the better.
Now my um laptop is not very fast. So streaming is not possible on this. And that's another thing we need to fund for. Um, you know, a better computer.
Obviously.
Now, um, of course, this is one of the first episodes, and we won't have the ability to be in a video podcast. Um, like the first episode was a video podcast, but that was only because we had a place to do it. Um,
Mhm.
I was just over at Cole's house, but I mean, maybe one day if you're able to, can record at your house, but that's your, you know, decision.
We might be able to, might be able to.
Okay. I mean, you don't have a computer, so I just bring my own, right?
I'm actually talking to you from a laptop right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good
So,
old gaming laptop.
so it's maybe it's possible that that would run faster, so maybe we could stream.
Possibly.
Well, that would be a lot better. Um, I liked I like to talk to the guests and ask about like since they're all usually going to be involved within this podcast, appearing multiple times. I like to ask them what
Yeah.
what what
What'd you say? When you're going to your buddy's place.
one second. Oh, there we go. All right.
Sorry, that was Jim Baker Sr.
Okay. What were you talking to him about?
He thought I was going somewhere. He just wanted to know if I needed to drive.
Oh, how did he think you were going somewhere?
I forget why. I think I was talking to him earlier. I think
Oh,
I had plans to go to like one of my palace houses, but
oh,
I'm doing
okay.
this instead. And also, it's cold outside, so
That makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, I like to talk to my guests, well, not exactly guests, my friends, about what they want to do in the future. And we did talk earlier today about renting out a place. Um, I was thinking about that. I was thinking since you wanted to rent out an apartment, but at the same time we have that other place. I was debating because I don't know if we'd be able to afford both places.
well, the office is. You said like the budget for the office was what 800.
Yeah,
The apartment would have been seven. Yeah, the apartment's 750 a month.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's possible.
There's probably a way that we can figure out to like budget it properly and manage it.
Yeah,
'Cause I feel like combined we'd probably have enough. It's just we have to like be careful with what we're doing and just
yeah.
try not to like overspend.
I mean, for you, you are going to graduate soon. So,
Indeed, I am.
huh? What's that?
Indeed, I am. I sure hope I'm going to graduate. Kind of suck if I didn't.
um, so you should be able to work full time, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so that would get you more money. That should get you around, let's say you work 36 hours a week. Um, or well, you would probably have around 8 hour shifts, maybe four, so 32. Um, and then 64 hours, and then since you work 4 shifts a week, blah blah blah. Anyways, you'd have 60 hours within 2 weeks, and 60 hours would be like a lot of money, you see. It'd be
Good way to
like,
put it.
I think it's actually 720, around that much, with how much you'd be making.
Yeah,
So
that's a fairly good amount.
yeah, so 720 and then multiplied by 2 in 1 month is 1440. So when you think of it, with your paycheck plus mine would add up to definitely enough for both places.
Mm.
But like when you think of it, you still need to buy your own food and furniture and stuff like that, right? So
Yeah,
I would need to have a side job, or you would need a side job. Oh wait, this is our side. This is
yeah,
yeah, this is technically part of the side job. So if this actually goes well, I mean, this will be premiering tomorrow, most likely. It's either that or I've decided to publish it today. I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is definitely going to go up. And I've done all the you know marketing strategies and stuff like that, and um, I found out ways to get like to get attention on, you know, YouTube. So I know what I'm doing.
At least one of us does. That's a good thing. A good start.
I mean, you I guess can be just considered as the um like the guy who knows people around here. Like the older guy in the business who knows a lot more stuff about Cape Breton.
It's a pretty small island, to be fair. And walk around for at least a week. You'll probably figure out most of the island's history.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think that'd be a good thing to talk about on the podcast. Just talk about Cape Breton. I think I've actually said that to you actually today.
Yeah,
Um,
I think you did.
yeah, that we can just talk about uh maybe history. I mean, I'm definitely gonna talk about history with uh the next guest coming on like next week. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we can talk about a lot of stuff. Whatever interests you, we'll talk about it.
Fair enough. I'll just. My main strat here is to just answer the questions I'm asked. And hopefully, I'm not going to say anything horrible.
I can assure you that with enough uh with enough awareness of the rules, I'm pretty sure you shouldn't do anything. I mean, like I said, just know politics and don't be straight up rude. Do things that'll,
Understandable.
yeah, just be nice. That's basically what the rules are. Just be nice and don't talk about politics.
Alright,
Just
I can do that.
yeah, just chill. Talk about life, you know. This is Temperate Times, the Chill podcast. It's up right on the
Indeed, indeed.
screen. Right now, the people are watching and the logo is actually on screen, but uh, I would have a video podcast if we were in person. You know, I had the idea to have the podcast in like a cafe, but when I thought of it, it wouldn't be quiet enough in a cafe unless we were to find a cafe. But at the same time, we would most likely be eating hot stuff, and we would also need space to be loud at the same time.
Yeah, I think we'd get a. I think we'd get kicked out pretty fast.
Definitely, we definitely get kicked out. But um, I think renting out that like so renting out that office space, and hopefully the apartments. You like when I move to New Brunswick, I'm still gonna be paying for that kind of stuff, but
Hmm.
like because I'll still be coming down, I'll transfer you the money because you're probably gonna be the person in charge of managing the money since you're gonna be making more money. Because this is how it goes. So I guess you'll be in charge of paying for the rent while I am in charge for managing all the equipment and stuff like that with all my leftover money. I mean, I'm still going to give you money for rent and stuff like that, but I know all the equipment that we need, and I'm just going to, I guess, pay for it with whatever I got.
That sounds fair.
I mean, I hope you're fine with that. I mean,
It's all good.
okay. I mean, like, you might get more than 60 hours somehow. Because, like, some people get like 40 hours a week, and that would lead to 80, and then that'd be around 10, so 75 hours worth of pay, and that's a lot of money. That'd be,
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
quite a bit of schmeckles.
Um, but uh, when we do get because we're definitely gonna get the office first before the apartment, or maybe we get the apartment first because it's cheaper.
Hmm.
Um, depending on what Kevin has for us.
Big Kev, as we call him.
Did you know that the guy that we were talking to, the like when we walked into the financial um, health insurance place?
Yeah, what about him?
So the bald guy with glasses. Um,
Yeah.
he was Simon, right?
Uh, yeah.
Simon. That's his father.
Oh,
Yeah, I was talking to him about it. I was like, um, I was looking at places to rent out, and I went down to the building, and there was a snore shop and a financial place, and he's like, "Wait, like which office building?" And I was like, "Oh, like the one Charlotte Street, was it?" And
yeah.
it's like, "Wait, my dad works there. He's Carl." I was like, "What?" uh, and I was thinking like, um, I didn't see a Carl on the sign, but I remember walking in there and seeing this big bald guy with glasses, and he was like, "That's my dad," and he was laughing a bunch. Um, he said he didn't know the landlord himself anyway, but yeah, it is funny how we met his dad, had no idea who he was.
Yeah, that was just that entire like escapade we went on was hilarious. Walking in, like go talk. We talked to like the lady in the other store. She gave us phone number. Didn't work. Go back in. Hey, buddy, do you know this landlord? Yeah, I know him. We get his number.
It looks like he
He,
texted him before he gave us the number or something.
yeah, because he pulled his phone out, put his glasses on. He was like scrolling around, typing in. I thought we were going to get like busted by security.
Yeah, it kind of he looks like he was suspicious of us.
I mean, to be fair, we did look pretty sketchy. Like two young men,
Yeah,
masked up, wearing black hoodies, backpacks.
good point, good point. But we weren't doing we weren't up to any no good business. We were just two men looking to rent out a place.
The ironic part is we were actually looking for legitimate business.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
were we were doing the opposite of what he probably thought we were doing.
uh so um can you remember the smallest office that was there?
Yeah,
How big was it? I can't really remember.
I think the smallest one that was in the building. I remember it didn't have any windows in it. I think it may have been on like the second or third floor. It was it was a fairly okay size. You can probably fit a few tables in like you wanted.
Yeah, I'm not looking for that big, I'm just looking for a place that after 4, when we, or actually maybe before 4, we can open up as soon as we both arrive from school, and then if nobody comes in, we can just chill, maybe do the podcast before we open up. Um, and on the weekends, we the weekends will be a lot better too, because we can probably head out at noon, go there, spend some time, do a podcast before we open up at 4. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like this podcast, I'm not sure what the schedule is going to be for it. I don't know um, when we're actually going to do it because this week is throwing it off because my work schedule is going to change. I'm freeing up my weekend so I can actually do this. So I can do the podcast, do the office stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and pretty soon I'm gonna acquire a job, which should be a pretty fun experience.
I mean, I can't wait for that. That's gonna be interesting.
Oh, neither can I. Start making my own money, like properly again.
I mean, if I can get a side job for like a few days in the week, which is gonna throw me off again because I don't know if my schedule will change spontaneously, and then I have to tell the other company that I'm working for. But I'm gonna try to make as much money as I can so I can actually do this kind of stuff.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it's a good idea.
yeah, and even when I move out, or not move out, move to New Brunswick, then oh man, I'm gonna have to get new jobs. Oh god. I don't even know anybody there. I was talking to my English teacher and he knows people there. His family lives there. Even in the place I'm moving to, which is a military base. Hmm.
Yeah, that should be pretty interesting. Fun fact: you are the third person that I know that's lived on a military base. The other two, they lived on military bases in like the United States.
Oh, was it in Washington?
No, one lived in New York and the other one was in, I think, one of the Dakotas. But
Oh, North
something
Dakota?
they told me, I honestly can't remember which one to be honest, because he lives in Tennessee now. Like he's
Hmm.
off the military base now, but I'm trying to remember what he lived in. But I remember they told me quite a bit that like the military base life really didn't like it. It kind of sucked for like for them being like kids going to school and all that. Like
Okay.
they always complained about like noise, like the noise, like soldiers off in the distance shooting guns and all that, planes, helicopters, vehicles, like the big tanks and everything going around.
That makes sense.
I don't know, like what's living on a military base in Canada though like? Is it any different or?
Living on a military base, Borden, um, it was a small neighborhood. Everyone knew each other. There was one main place that isn't considered downtown. Oh my gosh, that brings me back. So, um, the one like, what would you call it? Like, it's not downtown, but it's like the main place for shops.
uh Main Street?
Yeah, I guess the main street. Like, there was the road over to the next town called Angus. Um, and it was right beside this group of stores, and it was called the Canucks. Now, the Canucks was like if you took Giant Tiger and made it military. Like they were selling military like accessories. They were selling like regular kitchen appliances, TVs, it, and they even had like a corner store. It was so weird. It was like if a corner store met a giant tiger and was military. It was really weird. Um, but anyways, the Canucks, uh, if you walked into the place that had a big sign named Canucks, um, you didn't actually walk into the store. It's because inside it was like a mall. It was like a mini mall. If you walked in to the big sign that said Canucks, you actually walked into like an intersection. So to the left was Canucks, ahead of you was Subway, and to the right was like a pizza shop, I believe, a hairdresser's, um, and some financial services company. Uh, if you walked all the way down on the right hall, you would see a closed down corner store. That would be the Canucks, because there were two Canucks stores. Like one was the giant tiger, and one was the corner store. But they closed down the corner store one and just made that one the big one. Um, and then beside the Canics, you had Tim Hortons. So Tim Hortons, that was a well-known place. Everyone knew each other. The cashiers were so chill, um, and like it was so quiet. Um, and weirdly enough, there was a park beside the Tim Hortons, um, and the park was weirdly popular among people. And one thing I can remember about that park was a bench that was a memorial to a child, which whom died. Um, I believe the child died choking on rocks because the memorial said she loved playing just as much as she loved eating rocks. uh, so I don't know how the child died, but that was the sign on the bench. I was like, I don't know who that could be, but I've been there for years and I never heard of that child who died. It's weird. Um, um, so there was that street. Apparently, there was a library in which I did not find out about until like 4 years ago, and I lived there like 5 years ago. So I moved to here, to Cape Breton, and then went to Borden for the summer for vacation. That's when I found about the library. I don't know how I didn't find out about the library, but it's a really nice library. Like it's the usual one, right? You walk in, there's books. There's a kids section, so the right hall, and then the left hall's the regular one, like the um regular library. Um, and there was a thrift shop right beside the library, in which was very small as well. Um, and there was a cinema, like a theater or something. They did plays there and also movies. Um, I was there for a play and a movie. It was kind of weird. Um, but it's really cheap there. Like I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, it was pretty cheap. But yeah, oh yeah, there was a museum. There was like a
A
museum.
museum.
Yeah, yeah, the museum. Um, and there was like this big walking park for like trees that were a memorial for all the soldiers. I did remember walking down that trail and reading all the names. Um, and there was a map of Borden actually, and I wish I had the picture of it because I actually took a picture. But Borden basically was like the small version, like the small um, one of the towns of the four main towns that everyone knew about in that area, and those would be well Borden, Angus, Alliston, and Barrie. Barrie was like if Toronto was like smaller, because it was like it wasn't busy. Actually, wait, yeah, it was very busy. It's like smaller, so it's like not all downtown everywhere you went. It was downtown. It was pretty busy, but like there weren't many foreign people or whatever because there weren't tourists in Barrie. It's not actual Toronto. So it was just a busy place, you know. It was popular for people to live there because they had good homes. And my dad actually lives there. Um, my dad lives there with his girlfriend and two children. Um, wish I could visit him, but too far. uh, um, but anyways, That's about it. Yeah. What about you? Did you grow up anywhere other than here?
Well, I was born up in the IWK
Okay.
in Halifax. So after after that, I spent a few months up there, but still like a little baby. Eventually, after a while, they let my mom actually take me back to Cape Breton.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up essentially around just around the island, up in like the north end and everything. Back when my parents they didn't have a whole lot of money, so they kind of like popped. They went from like apartment. Like they would always be swapping, going to a new place. I don't really have a lot of memories from back then. I remember playing with a fire truck on
Oh.
some Christmas Eve. That's the only memory I really have of the apartments. There was one place that I went. It's a small little village, the birthplace of my grandfather, Round Counter East, Newfoundland. Small little village in Fortune Bay. Very small place. They don't even have real roads. They just have boats, ATVs, dirt bikes. Only way to get there is by a ferry, and that ferry ride is horrible. They you get a ferry from North Sydney, and that will take you. It takes like a day and a half. Yeah, a day. It takes a day, and you get to Port aux Basques. You'll stop there. You get off. You drive for a bit along the coast, and then you come to a place. I think it's called Our Ginger. It's a French name. I can't really pronounce them all that well, but from there you get a smaller ferry. The people on this ferry, it it looks like something out of like a depressing movie. Like when your character is at like the lowest point, they look like the ferry itself is old. It's all rusted. I'm surprised it's still in service. And there's people that they get on the ferry. They're either going to Crown Counter to visit family, or maybe drop off like an ATV, because the ferry has a big crane on the back that lifts up like ATVs and dirt bikes off of the wharf, and puts them on the boat. So they either drop stuff off at round counter, or the ferry will bypass round counter altogether, and it goes to Polskove, which is where my grandmother was born. It's a bit more advanced than round counter, but if you would ask my grandparents, the people there are arguably more stuck up, and it smells like fish. So, so they get along with that quite well, a little dynamic. But round counter itself, I liked it personally when I went there. I went there when my uncle Lynn was still alive. He's the brother of my well, was the brother of my grandfather. I remember the ferry stopped at the wharf. We began, getting our bags and all that, getting off the ferry. The cranes lifted up the ATVs which were on, and they loaded them onto the wharf. And a few of the fellas came out to like help them. That was pretty cool. And my uncle Lynn came up. I'd never met this man in my life up until this point. Never talked to him. Never seen a photo of him. I only heard of him. This absolute legend comes up, and he has a trailer on his ATV, and he looks at me, my brother, and my grandpa, and he's like, "You want to ride, boy?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I got my little bag, hopped into the trailer. To be honest, I could have walked. It was like it's a 3 minute walk from like his head, like the wharf to his house. But he was just nice, so I got a ride. I'm riding by this. I'm riding on this narrow little dirt road where there's like houses on one side, and then power lines and a deep like ditch on the other that has boats tied on. And because I was a kid, I couldn't understand why anyone would tie up a boat on dry land.
Uh-huh.
Well, because of where our counter is, it floods quite often. So
Oh,
that little ditch actually becomes a canal that goes like further inland to a pond that they have that they use to fish. It was all in all, it was a very nice little trip and a very interesting place. People there are pretty old fashioned. There's only maybe like 150. They have a single school, teaches all grades, and they have a single church, which the church is on a pretty cool spot. It's on like a hill overlooking the town. It's got some kind of like cool history behind it, I guess. Like, French settlers first showed up there, made the place. I think it had some sort of significance in like one of the early wars for North America, but I could not tell you because I I don't understand it very much.
I see.
Apart from that, it's apart from Newfoundland, it's been mainly Halifax that I've always gone to for like small vacations and stuff. We've gone to New York and Maine.
Oh,
Maine is an odd place.
I would imagine so.
It's an okay state from everything I've seen. We always, whenever we went on like a big vacation for the past while now, my mother and father always want to go into the states because they have stuff that they can like buy and sell over there, like commerce, I guess. Always a new way for them to make money. But what we do is we leave here, we go through it's Churro, go up through New Brunswick, go a little bit through Quebec, and then we come back around and we head into Maine. We'll drive around like Maine for a bit, chill over there. Like they look in like thrift stores and that kind of stuff, seeing what they can find, like general items, I suppose. And after that, we always go to New York City, which is odd. Because New York, like the state of New York, there's a lot of trees. Like at first, when you're far away from the city,
Mhm.
but then when you get closer and closer, and the trees kind of start to disappear, and then when you're actually going over like if you're coming up a road or going like over a bridge, the trees they just stop, and it's nothing but city, like just building upon building upon building. I remember I'd never seen anything like it when I first went there. We tried to take the main road in, but that day there was like a crane collapse onto a bridge,
Oh,
so traffic was backed up for miles. So we ended up circling around and coming in through a bridge. Going across that bridge as the sun was going down was it, it was new for me because I'd never seen a city that big before. Like we know what Halifax looks like, and that's a fairly big city in compared to most Canadian places.
hmm.
New York made it look like a little small town. It's just the buildings in New York are all they're never like you'll never find a building in the
That
actual city like on the island that looks the same.
really?
Like,
Like they're all different?
like every single one is different. They have buildings kind of like what we have here, where like the old architecture, like the 1930s and 20s.
Like brick,
Those old,
mostly?
yeah,
Okay.
those old buildings. They've now been converted into like small businesses or like apartments.
Hmm.
But the skyscrapers,
Oh,
they're just bloody massive. Like we went up the Empire State Building, and fun fact about the Empire State Building that might actually help you out if you ever go there. They have a celebrity only entrance.
what?
Don't try to go through the celebrity only entrance.
Maybe we will have the ability soon. That'd
I hope so. I do. But
be nice.
when I went the first time there, me and my family, it was me, my father, mom. and brother, we didn't know that. We just assumed you saw the building, you found an entrance, you went in, and you can like read signs and be directed to the rest. But my dad, and this is he's a big man. He starts walking into this entrance, and I noticed that there's two security guards by it.
Hmm.
But because New York City had the whole 9/11 terror attack thing,
Ooh.
I just
Yeah.
kind of assumed like, you know, obviously the city's going to have a lot of security.
Yeah.
But even though it was a while ago, that's not something you forget. So I didn't think anything of it. My dad, the moment he put his hand on the door, one of these bodyguards, he like grabbed him and shoved him back. And that was the only time in my entire life I saw my father get shoved by another person.
Really.
Yeah, like he's a big man. He's not the kind of guy that like your average day like hooligan would try to mess with. He's at one point he had a wider chest than Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime.
Really.
Because I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's chest when he was working out back in the day, I'm pretty sure the most he had was a 56-inch like circumference. My dad had a 58.
Ooh.
So not that much bigger, but still a little fun fact. But Empire State Building, get to the top, and you're going to notice that when you get to the top, there's first off a lot of security. Second off, there's railings that go up and they bend in, kind of like a cage. That's so people don't jump off of the building.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We have that at the CN Tower. I actually
Yeah,
went to the CN Tower and it's like that. We have like it's like the Empire State Building where it's like you can wait, in the Empire State Building, can you like look down and like there's windows so you can see below you?
nah, the Empire State Building's architecture doesn't really allow for that. It's kind of like just imagine squares like going up on top of each other, but they get smaller a little bit.
Oh,
And
is
that's
the Empire State
basically the
Building
Empire
not like
State
a
Building.
big bulb at the top?
No, it doesn't have like a big like it doesn't have an area where like yeah, it doesn't have like a bulb at the top necessarily. It's
Okay.
just kind of like flat.
Okay. Well, uh oh wait, the Empire State Building. Empire State Building. I can't remember what that looks like. Why can't I remember what that looks like? I'm gonna actually look up the picture so I know what you're talking about because I
It's a
genuinely
really,
don't know what
really
it looks
old
like.
building.
Empire State Building. Oh, that's what the Empire State Building looks like.
Yeah, compared to most buildings in New York today, it is tiny, and it's kind of weird to think that at one point this little building was the biggest building in the city, and now it looks like it's one of the smallest towers.
Wait, it used to be the tallest?
At one point, yeah, because that was like its big thing for Americans, like in the city.
What's the tallest now?
I, there's a tower in New York that's the tallest, but I can't remember the name.
Here, I'll look it up. The tallest building in New York. Oh, it's that one. It's the wait, the the Trade Center.
Yeah,
The Trade Center and then whatever 432 Park Avenue and then Hudson Yards, then Empire State Building.
mm.
So it comes fourth in tallest building in New York.
Yeah. To me, it's weird to think that like like a while ago that was the biggest building they had, and you can kind of tell that too when you're on top of the building and like you're looking out over the city. You can see all the old buildings and even like the new ones that are a bit smaller. They just they go for miles in every direction, and the only way I can kind of like describe it, like when I was first there when I was so little, my my mind kind of clicked it to the description of like imagine just a sea, like an ocean of concrete, and you're on like the only island within miles, and that's what the like standing on top of the Empire State's like.
Oh boy.
Like it's a pretty impressive sight, but there's one site, like one area to go to see New York that I like a lot more than that, and that's Hoboken, and it's a small area next to the city. It may be considered in the city, but I'm not a local in New York, so I couldn't tell you, mate. But I have photos on my phone from like the most recent time when we went before the whole COVID thing kicked off.
Okay, you can send them to me and I'll put them up on the screen.
Oh yeah, wait here. Let me use my phone right quick. But it's like when we went there, we were walking around just kind of like chilling. We were about to walk back to our hotel, and my mom wanted to go to this place. It's called Buddy's Bakery, I think. There's a TV show filmed there. It's like
Oh.
Cake Boss or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cake Boss. I know Cake Boss. I used to watch
yeah.
that show.
We actually went to the shop, and oh my god, is there a lineup?
I would imagine so.
But yeah, we went there, and it was okay. They made some pretty okay food. I liked it a lot.
They made some pretty okay food. Yeah.
I've
Just
never been one for their food, but my mother loved it, so I wasn't going to complain. I I had a moment of peace, so I wanted to take that chance and exploit that quite a bit. But yeah, so we're walking, and my mom's munching on some food. Your average day New Yorkers are just walking around, strolling, uh, like going out like evening runs,
mhm,
and my dad notices how beautiful the sunset looks here.
mhm,
So I look over, and sure enough, the sun is coming down like on the other side of the city, and you can see through like the skyscrapers, like the gaps and all that, the sun like beaming through, and it looked very very nice. I'm trying to find the photos. Where on earth? But yeah, it's the city itself is definitely an interesting place to go to. Where on earth? Oh yeah, I have photos of the NYPD and what they look like after 9/11, and oh my god,
Um.
they're terrifying.
Oh boy.
Yeah, uh, I never noticed it like when I was younger and the other times we went there, but the last time we went, uh, we saw a few squads of three police officers. One would be wearing a hat and like they're like bulletproof vests and all that,
Uh huh.
and then the two men next to him would be wearing helmets,
Okay.
and they have rifles with them,
Oh.
and they're just walking around the street. And if you go up and you ask them for a photo, because who wouldn't want a photo with some rifle wielding Americans? They look at you and they go, "No, no, no, we don't do photos." So I went across the street and decided to be sneaky and take a photo of them from there.
Uh huh.
Only I was not very sneaky because you can see in those photos that they kind of saw.
Okay. Um. Oh, you sent it. I didn't even realize. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like scrolling through my camera roll trying to find the actual ones that Sunset I was talking about, but that I just came across those as well.
Where they they smiled. They're
Yeah,
smiling. Okay,
yeah,
wait.
they're
I
looking
gotta
right
get
at me.
these. I gotta get these up. I'm just gonna save these images. Good thing this is a podcast and I can take all my time.
As I'm scrolling through my phone here too, I've realized I have a lot of memes I have to like delete.
Alright, let's change this photo to one of the police photos. Oh no, where did I put the photo? That's the question. Oh no. I okay. I don't know where I put the photos. Um oh wait, I can just go in quick access and find the photos there. I hate when my photos get lost because I'm not very smart with putting them. All right, here's one of the photos. Oh, I definitely should shrink this photo now. So this is a lot bigger. One sec there, people. Good enough. So one of the guys is a lot less like armed. Um,
Yeah, he's the guy with the hat.
and then I'm gonna shrink this photo a little bit more so I can see the entirety of what's going on. Nah, close enough. Actually, I want to get the entire photo. How tall is this photo? Oh, wait, that's why. Because
Yeah,
it's you actually took a portrait. Ah, good enough. All right, let's now show the next photo.
yeah, those were the police officers. That, I mean, they didn't run across the street and like yell at me.
Mm-hmm.
So they were nice enough, I guess. I did feel kind of bad when yeah, I did feel kind of bad when like I looked back in the photos and I noticed that they were like looking at me. But I figure like, if they really didn't want it to be taken, they would have rushed on over.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if I can get
Yeah,
OBS on my Chromebook. Imagine that.
OBS on the Chromebook.
Hell
Gang
yeah.
gang.
I want to see, genuinely. I think I've. No, I haven't run it. I think I've tried to open Unity in here and it actually kind of worked. Or was it Unity or was it the other one? I think it's the other one, not Unity. Um, I don't even know how to get OBS on a Chromebook.
Yeah, but New York was home to probably some of my weirdest childhood stories. It's a New York City is probably it's literally the stereotype that you see in TV shows and movies. The people there are like there's very nice people there that will help you out with things. There's
Hmm.
also crackheads around every corner.
Oh
You
boy.
gotta watch out. The first night we went there, my dad he'd been driving for like hours. Just wanted to find a hotel, go to bed. We pull into this hotel. It it seemed pretty sketchy, but we gave it the benefit of the doubt. That benefit went away the moment we walked into the room, and there was mold everywhere, and the window was broken.
Oh no.
So We packed our things, left, and we went into a hotel that was a bit outside of the city itself. I think it was a Holiday Inn. We went there.
Okay.
The receptionist was so nice. We walk in, and my dad explained to him what happened. He gave us the first 2 nights of the hotel for free,
Oh,
so
okay.
we got to stay a little bit longer in New York City. But
Nice.
yeah, but that first hotel we did not like. It took us so long to unpack our bags, and then we had to pack them all up again, and it was just ugh.
How
I would
was
not recommend that hotel.
how was the entire experience there? Like
At the
how would you,
hotel or at the city?
like of the hotel? Like were the people that you saw there or like sketchy or looking or
Yeah, we weren't in that room very long. Like we stayed there for a minute. When I unpacked my bags with my brother, my parents were like debating on whatever, but I there were some things that you know what
hmm?
uh, but we managed to get through that. We got to the Holiday Inn. We took that instead of driving around the actual city because if you do that, you're a maniac, and I have no respect for you, you bastards. But we're in the actual like city. Bus drops you off. You have like a designated point near Times Square that you go in the evening to get back on the bus. It takes you back to the hotel. We wanted to figure out how the metro worked because you don't want to drive on the streets. You know, you may as well take the trains. And I'd never been on a metro before, so I figured it's going to be a fun experience. We could not figure out how the stations worked and how the cards worked. So we were in the subway for a little while. Some sketchy looking characters around us. Maybe like, 2 or 3 crackheads shooting up heroin in a corner somewhere. But this this black fella, he comes down the stairwell, walks up, and he sees an entire family of people struggling. And he walks up and he's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, we don't know how the cards work." This dude went and they have like it's like a metro ticket card kind of thing.
Okay.
You swipe it to get over the barricades. You can actually go in and then go down to the station and get on like a train of your choosing. So he did that for us. We went through. Immediately after we're through, I figure, okay, now he's gonna pull a card out and he'll swipe it, and then he's gonna also come through. No, he just jumped over it. There's no security here, so he went out of his way to buy us something that we, in theory, did not have to buy. But it was
Uh,
a that was a nice experience. We also got to go to like the Brooklyn Zoo. No, it wasn't the Brooklyn. Wait, we went to a zoo. I do not think it was the Brooklyn Zoo, but it was also pretty cool. Then I saw a few cool buildings that I have a mental note of where they are in the city because I thought they were pretty cool. Like if I ever had the money for like an office or like a really a decent apartment,
like the ones we're
might
gonna
go
get.
there. Oh my god, these it's the same type of building, right? Like the older buildings, like the buildings from like the 30s, 40s or 20s.
Oh.
But this building was a little bit bigger, and it had one big like studio apartment up at the top,
Oh,
and
okay.
I would have loved to get it. I remember when I went there was a big for rent sign up on it,
Wait,
but
where is this?
I was a 12-year-old. This is in New York City.
Oh yeah,
in
I
very
don't.
close proximity to downtown.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to rent this place out. New York is known for
Yeah,
being really expensive, I believe, for like
despite all that,
apartments.
yeah, but despite the high prices and all that, one of my pals that lived on a military base that I mentioned earlier, his name's Bryce. He's a wonderful fella.
Okay.
When I first met him over Xbox, he was living in New York. The amount of crap I heard out of his headset, I never really understood why he cursed so much until I heard two gentlemen having an argument from outside of his window. He got
Oh
up to go get
my.
his food, right? So he put his headset down on his bed. His
Uh-huh.
window was open because it was a summer. I heard so many curse words. I think they actually gave me a new set of like words to use in a vocabulary.
Oh my
Like
god.
I leveled my speech up, and it was amazing. And then I tried saying those words around my mother, and she did not like that very much.
So that's the origin of swear
Yeah,
words
he had
for
a
you.
yes, two very angry New Yorkers screaming at each other.
What kind of New Yorkers were they? American or Italian?
Oh no no no! They were. I swear to God, they had the thickest accents you'd ever hear in your entire life.
Like New
Like
Yorker.
like Italian American accents, and I loved it
Okay.
so much.
Get out of here. I'm a New Yorker. I'm
Yeah, like this. Like, I'm
Italian.
walking here.
I'm walking here. Yeah, like
Yeah, like that.
that.
Like, it was terrifyingly funny. But
That'd be
yeah, that's my
perfect.
experience with like small towns and big cities. What about you? You said when we were hanging out today, you said you lived in Toronto at one point.
Oh, that's right. I was in Toronto for multiple occasions. And one was going on vacation, and I was with my sister's aunts, um, and they took us to their suite because they're for some reason extremely rich. Guess what car they drive?
What car did they have?
Guess.
Uh, Rolls Royce.
No, they had a caravan, an old 1970s, maybe 60s caravan. Oh my god. And they're filthy rich
It's kind
too.
of bad.
Yeah. One of them is a city manager and one is a project manager. So they basically worked for the city. And oh my gosh. The the suite that they took us to in the parking lot, there were so many Teslas. There were just there were Teslas, there were Lamborghinis, there were goddamn the most expensive vehicles I ever seen, and they were just I was like, no way. Like what? Oh my gosh. But their place, I walked into their place. We didn't stay there. We stayed at a hotel. But oh my god, they're sweet. They had like abstract art, that kind of rich people thing where they have like a morphed head, like a glass head, and like paintings and stuff like that. That gave me a different perspective on them because I thought they were just travelers, like tourists, because that's what they did. They toured places, and when I saw their suite, I was like, they're just straight up rich people. Like, oh my god, they just buy that kind of stuff. And then I see their kitchen, and it's like complete like marble and stuff like that, and like it looked like some place out of like an IKEA or something. It's like, and then you open up their fridge, and it's like they eat really healthy foods. Like they're old. Like they're about probably 70 years old both, and they're decently old, but they eat so healthy that I bet they could live till they're 120. I swear. Like they're in so good condition too. They are very energetic. They like to do a lot of active things. So I bet they'd live for a very long time. But anyways, back to answer your question. Living in Toronto, um, it wasn't bad. Like to be honest, it wasn't as bad as living in Montreal for a week. Living there was, ugh. But Toronto, like, it was really, actually, really welcoming. It was like we went to see a baseball game one day, and it was not busy at all. Like the streets, like the cars were busy, but on the sidewalk, like nobody was walking on the sidewalks. It was weird. Um, and when we got to the baseball game, like it was flooded with people. But when we got to the seats and
Mhm.
stuff, like and watching the games, um, it was weirdly organized, but it was still messy. I didn't like that. A lot of popcorn. It's like a movie theater. But um,
A live action movie theater.
yeah, basically like a play. Um, I actually met one of the opposing teams because we were going for a Toronto Blue Jays game, and we met like
Mhm.
um the opposite team's coach. I can't remember what the opposite team is, but we got a picture with him, and I actually don't have it on me. I wish I had the picture, but I don't know where it went. Um, we also went to Ripley's Aquarium. Um, Ripley, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Ripley is known for publishing their Believe It or Not books. It's kind of like Guinness World Records, but it's not world records. It's just weird stuff. Um, and in Ripley's Aquarium, it's an aquarium, so it's like a museum, but fish and stuff. Uh,
Of fish.
it was fun in there though. It was fun. There was some good history stuff, and it was, oh my god, I remember the stingrays. I felt a stingray, and jellyfish were there, eels. It was fun. It was fun for an aquarium. It was actually fun. I actually really like aquariums for some reason. I like just walking and looking at the fish. I mean, I'm a lot into history and biology, and well, I'm into a lot of science, so I think I would like aquariums. Um, where else did we go? Oh, we went to a zoo, the Toronto Zoo. That place was crowded. I did not like being there, but the animals there were nice. I think you were able to feed some of the animals actually. Um, I think you're given food to feed the animals. That could be that zoo, but it could be another one. It would make sense, but of course, with COVID, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to feed the animals. Um, the hotel that we stayed at actually, um, that oh, we went to Canada's Wonderland. I remember that because the reason why I remember that we went to Canada's Wonderland is because the hotel we went to, we shared the hotel room with a guy that I know named Tackett. I think his name's Tackett, something like that. Um, it's like my sister's cousin, I believe. Um, like second cousin or something. He's really cool. He's like 20 years old, probably like 23 by now. I think it's been 3 years. Um, he's really chill. Like, oh my god. Uh, we shared a hotel room. There were two beds, so the boys had to sleep on the couch. um, and it was clean. The breakfast was delicious. the pancakes tasted like marshmallows. Um, or yeah, I think it was the pancakes, or was it the waffles? It was the waffles. I actually remember the waffles. You made your own waffles. It tasted so good. And then they gave out like muffins and croissants. Oh my, I loved eating there. And there was a pool too. And we swam in the pool in the morning, and then we left to, do other stuff. We stayed there for like a week straight actually. I'm pretty sure it was a week. It was I think it might have been 2 weeks maybe. Um but we went to different places each day too. So I believe we went to the Blue Jays game one day. We went to Ripley's Aquarium one day. We went to the zoo one day. What did we do other than that? We went to this weird aquarium that, or not aquarium, oh my god, arcade. We went to an arcade that had like a haunted house in it that I don't believe I went in because I'm pretty sure we were too busy playing laser tag because I loved laser tag. Laser tag's so fun. Um, so we did that for an entire day. I remember that actually. It was really fun. Um, the my most favorite part was actually walking. Like just walking in Toronto was fun. I liked just seeing all the stuff, just looking, because in Toronto you don't have to be inside buildings to see the wonders of the town, the city. You can just go in there, go out there and walk, look at the signs, look at the art, because there's actually art. People like to do like mural painting like that we have in Cape Breton, in downtown Sydney.
Mhm.
Um, they do that kind of stuff, and it's really cool. Um, but it's definitely not like the kind of experience like New York left for you.
Big cities are always most interesting to me. Like they're very dynamic. Like anything can really happen. You can meet just about anyone. In New York, now I would say I saw like a celebrity or two,
Oh,
but I can't see past the cameras of a million men all trying to take a photo.
who were
But
they?
I
Do you
know,
not know?
like paparazzi and like all that, like the media and the press. Whenever like a big star shows up somewhere, they like rush over to them. I
So
remember we were in
you
hmm?
you don't know who you saw because they were crowded so much?
I, yeah,
Ah, damn.
I don't know who it was, but it was someone very very important because you're in Times Square and that's a busy place. Like there's people everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
We're there and we're walking around, and my dad sees like literally everyone turns and runs in one direction. And my dad kind of got scared for a minute because it was like just me and him, and he was worried like something was going on. He looked around and he noticed all these people were like crowding around someone, and he didn't want to go near them because he thought like a fight may have happened or something. But they all pull out these like big cameras and they just start taking photos. And I like both me and my father, we never heard like what they were yelling about, but it was definitely someone famous. My dad likes to believe that it was Will Smith because he used to watch what was it, the Fresh Prince of Bel Air back in
Mm,
the day.
mm-hmm.
And that was like one of his favorite TV shows to watch. So he chooses to believe that it was Will Smith, but obviously we have no real way of knowing that.
Damn.
Which that kind of sucks at the same time. But
I wish you remembered the exact day that this was.
I wish I do too, because I could say like I could then at least say I saw someone in person, but it was more of I saw a lot of cameras.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that'd be great to know, like, what day it was, because you could even, like, do research and just search up the day and New York,
Yeah, like who
and
was,
then,
what
yeah,
celebrities were there.
you could probably see, like, something on the news or, like, any paparazzi channels or whatever, and then you would see. Imagine you were in frame for, like, a second. You're,
Just 12-year-old me with my little teddy bear and my dad
it's just your dad's in frame just sprinting at full speed.
doing like the whole do you know what like the Flint Lockwood meme is?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like the guy sprint. Yeah, I imagine that's what
Oh
my
my.
dad looks like when he runs. Like, I like to imagine the big buff man running like that, and it just makes me giggle sometimes.
Oh my god. It's just
Also,
oh my
I
god.
wanna add something right quick.
All right.
So we're here, doing the podcast, obviously,
Mhm.
and I have my phone next to me just like in case anyone needs me, they can like text me and tell me something.
Yeah.
I get a message from my uncle who we saw in the YMCA today,
Oh, we
and
did?
he's asked me, yeah, I saw him like when I was looking at the window there on the second floor, but I'm there and I, I he sends me a message and he's like, "What are you doing, buddy?" And I'm like, "Ah, just doing a podcast." And he's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You have nothing else to do in your life."
Wow. Okay. Well,
I'm
I
like, "Okay,
might take
okay,
that.
uncle."
Hmm. I why? You have nothing else to
He's
do.
that's the that's the way he is. He likes to pop jokes at people.
Oh, pop jokes.
Bro, you should see him after he's had like even the slightest amount of alcohol put in his system.
Oh
He
no.
becomes the world's funniest man for like 5 minutes.
Oh no. I wouldn't want to know, to be honest.
He does a lot of like cringe kind of like old time jokes, but
Oh,
some of
makes
them
sense.
some of them work. Some of them are okay. But I will warn you, I do, I do have to go now because I have to go and babysit someone else's dog
I see,
because
I
they're not going
see.
to be in town tonight.
Well, it is decent timing. I want to cut these podcasts a little shorter. So, yeah, this is a decent amount of time. So, yeah, thank you for coming to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, I'll talk to you later, possibly on the weekend, may definitely during school.
All right. Good luck on everything.
See ya. All right, and that is the podcast. Thank you, whoever is watching. Now, of course, we will be, you know, getting better stuff for the podcast, like, um, so we can have video podcasts more convenient, like how the first episode was, except for instead of it being in a bedroom, it can be in an actual office. And that's what we're going to work towards. And actually, Michael is one of the is my business partner, so he will be um when he gets a job, he'll actually be funding for that kind of stuff. Now, um I I do hope that we can get on that kind of track as fast as we can. It's probably the best thing that could ever happen to me to get a podcast going and actually get the kind of attention so we can bring out to people how our personal lives are going and tell stories. It's something I've wanted to do for a while. And I'd just like to thank you all again for whoever's watching, uh, taking your time just to listen to this podcast. It's a great thing to me. It's nothing I'd ever have had expected um, to do this early, and soon I'll even have an office space, and I'll actually basically complete my dream. It's crazy for that kind of thing to happen so quickly. It amazes me, and you know, thank you. Now I will be doing another episode, um, sometime during next week. Uh, so you can always tune in back. All right. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you next time.